So, I will explain once again with this one. So, there is a bank 1 and bank 2, they are different banks. Okay. There is a account holder in the bank 1. Now, what account holder in the bank 1 does? He has some balance of $1000. Now, what he does, the account holder in he goes to the bank 2, somewhere to the ATM of the bank 2, of the bank 2, and he withdraws $100. Okay. At certain time, let us say he withdraws on the same day at 8:10 a.m. he withdraws $100, and after this he comes back to the bank 1 at 8:20 okay, a.m. and if he tries again to withdraw $1000 from the bank 1. Okay. So, normally by default, if the bank 1 and bank 2 are not connected, then this transaction will not be updated, and automatically the system will allow him to withdraw $1000, but it should not happen, right? It is an error. So, basically what happens here, bank 2, whenever there are some transactions, what at the high level it happens, whatever the transactions happened from other banks to the bank 2, immediately the bank 2 will send in the fraction of seconds in the same time, it will send a request to the bank 1, and based on the request bank 1 will deduct the amount $1000. Okay. Bank 1 will deduct the amount $1000, and after that it will update the balance to $900. Okay. So, how this bank 2 updates the bank 1 are, there are two couple of scenarios how it does. Okay. So, what it is going to do is that bank 1, whenever you do some transactions in the bank 2 will send what are the transactions it have, it will give as a flat file to the bank 1, it will give as a text file, all the latest transactions it will give it to the bank 1. What bank 1 does, it takes all the transactions from the flat text file and then it updates the table. It updates the accounts based on which are the accounts are there in the text file, it will update that accounts, it will deduct the amount from that accounts accordingly. Okay. So, here the one thing you need to observe, the first thing, bank 2 will, what are the transaction it happened, like every 1 minute it will create the text file for different banks. Let us say there may be some other bank 3. The customer from the bank 3 also may access the bank 2 ATM, right. So, what the bank 2 does, it creates couple of flat files for each bank 1. It creates some flat file for bank 1. It's create flat file is nothing but the text file, okay, text file .txt file. So, it will create a file for the bank 1, it will create the file for the bank 3, where these files will have the transactions that occurred in the bank 2. Okay, every minute it does, and immediately once it creates the file, the task of the bank 1 is that to load that file into the tables and update them, update the tables accordingly, update the accounts accordingly. Okay. So, this process bank 2, in order to create a file, it might use or it might not use the SSIS. There are different ETL tool. Let us say bank 2 uses SSIS to take the latest transactions and load them. At the same time, bank 1 uses the SSIS package to load the text file into the table, and you will write some T-SQL script to update that into the database. So, this all things you can automate it in the SSIS. Are you able to get my point?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a kind of the scenario too. Okay. Like that, there are couple of many scenarios, like if you want to move the data from one location to other location, one database to other database, and if you want to transform them or if you want to standardize the data, then you will use the SSIS, and SSIS is a tool which makes your life easier. Okay. So, when we will go to the real time examples, then you can see. From tomorrow I will start the SSIS one. I do not want to add more things to your stuff. Okay.